Alright, you're listening to Mav on the RedShirtArmy Supplemental video cast. Each of us will be doing supplemental videos or logs as time goes on about different subjects. I like ground combat and Star Trek Online. It is a little buggy, and it does have a few problems with it, but overall it's enjoyable. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time today and walk you through some of the basics. As you can see, I'm already pretty much at in-game level, and this is one of the in-game explore missions in Borg space, but it's a typical ground mission, so I can walk you through. The tactics and stuff are fairly similar to PvP, or at least the basics, so I can cover both of those pretty much in one stone. As you can see here, I've beamed down with my away team. I rock 2 tactical, a science, and an engineer. My science officer is trained up for healing. My tactical officer is trained up for assistance, cover shield and shield generators and mines. And my 2 tacticals are geared toward damage output. Myself, my character is spec'd mainly for ground combat, so I'm definitely easily set up for that. And just taking a look here, we're going to go over a couple of quick basics in the time we have today. On the map, if you take a look up in the upper right hand corner where my cursor is bouncing back and forth, you'll easily see the red dots on the map to indicate an enemy, so we know where we automatically have to go. Now, prior to engaging an enemy in ground combat, you want to make sure that you throw up what available buffs you have. The primary buffs you have will come in the form of triples, little pets that you can get to give you buffs in damage resist, or healing. And they also have an added combat healing triple, which is nice. Kind of saves up for medkit use in between fights. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with a basic damage buff triple and click and apply it. And as soon as you see the buff applied, you'll know it's active. Now, this tactical, I have a whole little array of buffs I can go through here. Just a quick little overview of those. I have Target Optics 3, it's a damage buff, and Crit Chance buff. One of my favorite tactical buffs is Overwatch. It's an AoE buff for damage resistance to people within my area, which is always nice to help keep them alive. It's kind of like a little bit of a tanking ability for a tactical. And of course, the coup de grace of tactical that I like to use is a security escort. With this, you can beam down an extra 2 temporary crew members to assist you in fighting, and they seem to stay pretty much active until you're out of combat. So we're going to go ahead and aggro an enemy here, and that means just grab their attention. And as you can see, the fighting's already begun. I have my main phaser attack right here set to auto fire, and it'll automatically keep firing at the target I have selected, this enemy right here. And my NPC away team is already helping me. My engineer's throwing up a cover shield, and he's laid down some suppressing mines, if you can see those over here. I'm going to go ahead and throw on my target optical buff, which will give me a little more damage, which helps take out one enemy right there. And you see I've got one enemy right here close to me. If you get an enemy in close to you, it's a good idea to go ahead and use a melee attack, like a rifle butt swing there, to kind of help them get knocked down and get them out of your face. Helps crowd control a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use my, I got held. Holding in ground combat is not something you want. It's basically a stun for all intents and purposes, and you don't really want that. I'm going to go ahead and use my, if I don't get held again, my phaser rifle special ability and do a 300 point damage to him. And we're going to take out that other guy there. And my away team is automatically picking these guys off slowly one by one as we go through it. Now, as you can see here, my phaser special was flashing. That indicated that enemy right there was exposed, and damaging them just completely vaporized them totally, which is always nice. It's almost always an instant kill unless they have a lot of health or really big shields. And as you can see, my buffs constantly recharge, so I usually like to keep those up. I keep them bound to keys you can easily reach, because the buffs do help. And the main thing between combat is you have 2 stances. You're going to have crouching, which is the aim mode, which does more damage, but you're a little more stationary and move slower. And you have just regular movement, where you have a little more flexibility in movement, but you're doing less damage. And as you can see, the NPC for the mission came up. I have to go defend or defeat 3 enemy squadrons. If you look in usually the right hand side, the quest log for ground combat will always generally tell you where you need to go, what you need to do. For this mission, I basically just get to pew 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 against some evil bad guys that have taken over this facility. So we're just going to find these guys, and I'll try to bring out some more skills, as you can see. Now, if you want to travel quicker in ground combat, you can easily just hit your sprint button. That'll let you run, and you'll see that little meter going down there. That's just going to show you the sprint meter for how fast you're moving, and when it's done recharging, when you can use it again. So we've engaged this group of enemies, and as soon as I'm not stunned, I'm going to go ahead and pop my security escorts here. As you can see them beaming in, they're going to be some extra DPS and crowd control for us. And seeing as how there's about 5 of them on us right now, I'm going to go ahead and target one of the ones back there near the main group if I can. This one right here in front of me is just really taking up the screen. I'm going to throw out my stun grenade. Grenades are obviously an AoE attack. They come in a variety of forms. Stun grenade is a stun, obviously. There's a couple other grenades. Plasma is a dot, which is damage over time. Smoke literally puts up some smoke on the screen so you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and just pop up some more buffs, keep my party alive, and we're going to slowly whittle away these NPCs. Now the great thing about ground combat is you can easily swap between weapons as you need them. For right now, I'm just using as my one weapon a phaser rifle, which has a nice sniping special attack for big damage. And for some crowd control, I've got a Polaron split beam. And the different weapons in Star Trek Online ground combat each all tend to do something different, which we'll cover later on in another supplemental. But I'm going to go ahead and switch to my Polaron split beam just to help with crowd control. And we're going to try to find another group of enemies if we can. There's a lot of little anomalies around. And here's a tunnel. Following the mini-map in the upper right hand corner is usually a good way to see where you're going. And we're just going to sprint to make it travel a little bit faster. And we should be arriving right now to another group. And as you can see, my away team's catching up pretty quickly. And I'll switch to my Polaron weapon now, which is going to be a little difficult to use with this particular map, because you can see there's all kinds of machinery and computers and databases in the way for this one, so there's not a lot of open room. I'm going to go ahead and pop my buffs. And I'm going to go ahead and target, if they would just group up I could easily show you this, but they're not. I'm going to go ahead and activate my split beam. The split beam is basically a tri-attack to the maximum. It can hit up to 3 targets at once with its special, which is nice for crowd control. But be wary, the more targets you hit, the more aggro you're going to really ground, so if you're not really spec'd out for surviving a little bit, grabbing all the aggro from the NPCs would not be wise. Now, as you can see, I've already defeated 2 of the 3 enemy squads that I need to so far for this mission. Sometimes missions do have multiple parts that you need to, do. And we're going to go and try to locate this last squad of guys over here. It would be handy if you could just beam over, because you automatically see where they are, but that takes away a little bit extra time from ground combat. And there they are. Oh, and they're standing next to each other, so let's go with the tri-beam attack. And as you can see, I attack 3 instantly at the same time with tri-beam, which is nice. It's definitely great for crowd control and AoE damage to a certain degree. I'm going to go ahead and pop my grenade up there since there's like 4 of them, throw them all in a stun. And as you can see, my tactical escort has recharged. So we're going to summon them back, and as they beam in to help with the damage control. And we're going to get these guys killed here in just a matter of seconds. My split beam is recharged, and as you can see, I took on almost 2 guys entirely with 1 attack there. And that definitely comes in handy. Polaron, its special attack is it has a % chance to cause weapon malfunction, which is a debuff that doesn't let any energy weapon fire for a certain time, which is always nice. And as you can see, the what do you wish to call it, the mission or the quest has updated with defeat 1 more remaining squad. And ground combat is pretty simple. We'll go over some more basic buffs and strategies later in the next series, hopefully with some PvP, because PvP definitely covers a lot more in terms of cover, sort of ducking in behind something here to regen shields and more. So we'll check on that next time. See you later.